let's get on this. A wider field of vision. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible. Hello. She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the world within a slurred voice, despite that her eyes are wide open. I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow. I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question, without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smart-ass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is, I'm not even sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you lying on your back on the rooftop? She gives me a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. I'm trying to experience. People probably don't do this enough. What exactly are trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there's probably a reason people don't do whatever. She's playing dodgeball with me again, answering my attempt at small talk of riddles I don't want to puzzle out. But I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things. Like watching the sky? She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me, the penetrating deepness in my eyes once again. Eyes when she focuses on something is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I could see your panties. If I were a girl, I want to come this close to anyone and try to sneak a peek at my panties. I don't have that much common sense. What is this conversation? I wouldn't either, but it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you're not a girl. As a guy, I guess I can understand that. To us, they're sort of a half-mythical object we can't quite comprehend. Yeah, that's exactly how I think about them, too. What a coincidence. It really is. So did you have world history in the morning class? I skipped class. To do this? Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I'm doing, or at least that what I'm doing doesn't look like what I look like, but from your perspective, probably. Yeah, I skipped class to do this. I give whatever your reason is. It's as good as any. Giving in to the tired feeling in my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Rin. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well. What are you waiting for? Try it. I bend my neck backward to take a look where she's looking. The silvery blue sky, dotted by herds of cloud sheep, fills my vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner which Rin seems to have evolved to perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight even a little, forcing me to keep as still as possible. I try to ignore my discomfort, instead concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer's clouds drift silently across the dome of the sky. Neither of us has anything more to say, the silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees, and traffic buzzing past the school are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. Did you? Well, to be honest, no, but it was alright. It's probably the longest time I ever sat in one place without doing anything, which is kind of impressive. Try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time too. Cloud passes above us, casting its shadow on the school. Cloud above us, clouds casting its shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. Or at least the summer is not yet in its full bloom yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of clouds move towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. It reminds me of the time I spent at the hospital, where I was bored in my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I don't even like. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sight to my other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake like a pair of chalk lines drawn from one end of the sky to the other. I wonder where it's headed to. The low din of its engines carries all the way down to my ears, so it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't understand why it's more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while. Of course, but what are you doing? What are you doing? Emmy has snuck up on us without either noticing, and is only one step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic film in her arms. She leans forward and peeks over me, overshadowing my face in exactly the way I overshadowed Rin before. I wonder how weird this looks. Two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked too. I would be more concerned about what you're doing. If I were you, I wouldn't come that close so people could see your panties. Rin. Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backwards, pressing her hands against the front of her skirt so abruptly that the parcels of bread she's carrying fall. I quickly avert my eyes and glance angrily at Rin. She pretends not to see me. He's always like that, right? Right. Emmy scowls at Rin and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off of them, then skips lithely around me to Rin's other side where she sets herself down. Anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took a while. That's alright. Thanks for treating me. Put myself up into a position and greatly accept the bread Emmy is offering. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. The bread is surprisingly decent and readily fills my stomach. I follow from the corner of my eye the skill. Oh my god. I follow from the corner of my eye the skill with which Rin handles her bread between her feet. I haven't seen you on the track in a few days. Oh right, I figured it was too heavy a routine for me to start with. So you've been doing something else? I've been considering my options. She frowns but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Emmy seems pretty headstrong, and I wouldn't really want to get pestered by her about this on a daily basis. I don't have burdens about choosing Misha. Oh, hello, PSS. Welcome back. And sorry about your phone, I guess. Hope at least you have it back, I guess. We barely finished the lunch before the bells rang, calling us back to our classrooms. Hee-chan. Misha waves at me as soon as I enter and starts talking before I even make my way across the classroom. Still somewhat undecided on that, I say. Probably. Why? Just asking. Her eyes glint in a way that tells me she's not just asking, but I can't start to guess her motives, though. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking any further, Misha falls back to plan B. I was there all day with Shi-chan. We had a lot of fun. Alright, so basically yesterday, we went to the festival of Rin, and more or less, all that you kind of do is sit in front of her mural and have deep discussions about absolutely nothing. Weren't you supposed to be doing work? Don't worry, everything went really well. I don't reply to that, and she leaves me alone after Shizune demands her attention. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows. Now that I look at from here, though, the window and the foliage just outside of the sky seem smaller. I catch only small glimpses of blue, everything else is a cluster of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. What experience did Rin want out of staring at the sky? Surely she's done it before. Everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind, but if I don't do that, then I have no excuses for not concentrating on the teacher's words. I look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out their meaning with little success. English is really not my favorite subject. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. And yet the game is in English. Thick, hot afternoon light invades the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. My body feels weighed down by it as I drag it 2 doors down the hallway to the art classroom. Maybe this is part of the reason I didn't join any clubs before. Afternoons just aren't suited for this activity. I knock at the door of the art room. A girl who was possibly doing something important with the school of paper she was carrying turns to reckon me and smiles in a sweet, if a bit confused manner. Hello? This is the art club, right? Yep. You interested in joining? Yeah, in fact, I might have already done so, but we'll see. I give her a weak smile, and her own widens a notch, making me feel less nervous. Great, have a seat then. We'll start when the teacher gets here. When I'm scouted the room for a good spot, I quickly walk to the back of the room and settle myself on a free seat, apart from everyone else. A few other members are lounging in their seats, waiting for the teacher. Rin sits alone in the window seat, looking outside. He's the only person here that I know, although a guy I've never really got along with my class is here too. No one else comes to greet me. Maybe introductions are left for later, so I just set up for silent observation as well. Yep. The painting, it was the essence of modern art, I guess you could say. One boy has sunglasses on, an odd sight indoors. Were we not at Yamaku, I'll bet he's the blind student Rin was talking about. The wait proves to be extremely short. Nomiya walks over to stand between his desk and 3 long strides, and gives a smile and a flamboyant greeting. Good afternoon, everyone. First things first, Hisao there is a new member, so everyone get along with him. He winks at me unsettlingly. All 8 members of the club, including myself, answer his greeting with considerably less enthusiasm. Still, people finally straighten up in their seats and begin to pay attention. I think some of you still have projects to work on, so please continue with those if you like. As for the rest, I was thinking today we could do some rough studies. How does that sound? Nobody answers except with some unintelligible murmurs, which Nomiya apparently interprets as unanimous approval. Alright then. If we're not working on projects, choose a partner and draw a sketch of one another. You should be able to complete this day, but if not, we can continue next time, or even do it again if you find it interesting. I feel like very rather easy to force yourself upon Rin, considering she has no arms. Remember to pay attention to light and shadow and give it your best. Pairing up, I feel pretty awkward about it, hardly knowing anyone here. I wish someone would ask me to be their partner. He would stand up and move their chairs closer together, but no one comes to me. Pretty soon, everyone else is paired off. Friends team up with each other, but I'm left alone. Well, There is Rin. She's sitting in the furthest corner of the classroom, so staring out the window and seemingly uninterested in taking part of the exercise. Since she's the only one without a partner, I walk to her seat. I can't see her face because her hair is covering most of it and she's looking away from me. Rin? I mean, yes. I mean, yeah, you know. You don't have to draw like arms, you know. You have to take all that effort to draw some arms. Hey, wanna partner up? You're the only one I know here. She seems to finally acknowledge my presence, head turning like a robot as she looks to say who is addressing her. Rin doesn't answer. I don't want to repeat the question either. I'm sure she heard it the first time. Why doesn't she say anything? It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with me, can it? She doesn't look at my face, instead stares directly at my chest and stomach. Oh, okay, why not? Okay, good, great, I'll get the stuff for us. Looking at the equipment Nomiya has prepared for us today, today's meeting confuses me. It's a graphite or pencil as we're apparently supposed to do ink sketches. I've never done anything like this before. The teacher, however, seems confident in my abilities to adapt to this medium. Simple. First, you do the outlines in ink, you let them dry, then you shade with diluted ink. This is called India ink. It works like watercolors. If you're uncomfortable with it, use a pen instead of a brush for the outlines. Got it. Pick up a paper, water cups, one pen for me, one brush for Rin, and ink for both of us. Then return to Rin. Grabbing a vacated chair from nearby, I sit directly opposite her. Do you want me to do it with my foot or my mouth? That can be interpreted in many different ways. What did you say? She tilts her head, her brow forming questioning arches as if she doesn't understand that I didn't understand the question. I don't mind drawing either way. It'll look better if I do it with my foot though. With your foot then, if it's all the same to you. Nodding in answer, Rin gets up from her seat and kicks off her sandals. In two fluid motions, he picks up the paper sheets, drops it to the floor, then snags the brush between her toes before sitting on the floor in a weird half-cross-legged position. While I've seen her do everything with her feet already, from eating to painting, the display of dexterity is so prodigious that I just stare at her, stunned. Rin contemplates her blank paper intently. The sharp tip of her brush hovers over the paper in anticipation. When she raises her head to see if I'm ready, I quickly turn my face away. I'll go first. Make a pose. What kind of pose? Doesn't matter, that's the point. You have to make the sketch of the impression you get, not decide beforehand. I end up just sitting in my chair, my hands hanging limply between my knees. I look at her, and she looks at me for a moment before beginning. Rin's stare is piercing, but impassive, as if she's trying to absorb part of me into her own self. I feel like I'm physically shrinking under the pressure of her gaze. I get the feeling that for the first time since we met, Rin is actually looking at me instead of in my general direction. She sketches with confident, bold sweeps of the delicate brush, not caring about the potentially disruptive consequences of an accident misplaced stroke. After she's happy with her outlines, she stands up to pose for me, stretching her legs and stretching her back and legs. This time, she doesn't look at me. Instead, Rin lets her gaze wander around the room. I'm relieved. It's easier to stare at someone they aren't staring back at you. Even so, I find it hard to get the sketch going. I'm not especially artistically talented, so I'm scared my portrait will turn into something disfigured, especially when compared to my partner's skill. Okay, I think we need to turn on the music slightly. I don't want to embarrass myself too badly on the first try. Rin is not helping the process either. She doesn't stand still for even 10 seconds, tilting her head from one side to judge her drawing, biting at her lower lip, looking unsatisfied and constantly shoving around like she was on hot coals. I finally managed to make some headway on my sketch, and my outline's done. We both start inking in the shadow and light. Melia passes by and remarks in the beginning of our sketches. Very good. Standing figure is easier for a beginner to get a grasp of. But I didn't choose the pose. I look at him and then at Rin in confusion, but he's already moving on to the next pair, and Rin seems unresponsive. Just like when she was painting the mural, Rin has become so engrossed of her work that she has shut me out. The classroom and the world itself, from itself outside from her own little sphere of existence. Every now and again, she leans backwards, seemingly to get some perspective. Sometimes she bends forward, leaning down to her nose, almost touches my paper. This rocking back and forth looks silly. Suddenly, Rin proves she hasn't completely drifted off into a world of her own and speaks. Are you having fun already? She doesn't raise her eyes in the drawing, which is a good thing. The breaking of this silence and the jolt of surprise through me, as if I'd been electrocuted. I don't know yet. It's hard to say. I can't hear how she replies to my answer because it seems she's suddenly having a private whispered conversation of her sketch. I don't understand how she can draw so well and she has the attention span of a butterfly. As it seems she's lost her interest, I go back to work on my drawing as well. I try to add texture to Rin's hair to somehow grasp the way the golden afternoon sun lights her bright red tussle of flame and transfer it onto my paper. Why do I pause for a brief moment after I read a sentence? I don't know. Probably because my mouth is dry or something. So I also need to process what I'm reading first. Are we in act? Oh yeah, this is what? No, this is like act 2, like disconnect, I believe. It's the second act. It's after the festival. Somehow this pen and the bottle of ink seem like such a lousy, inadequate tools for the task. Minutes pass, but the sketch doesn't magically look any more like Rin than it did before. Her voice wakes me from my despair. What about now? Excuse me? Are you having fun already? Why do you keep asking that? Because it's a club, right? Clubs are meant to be fun. You join to have fun. Are you having fun? Is it that important that I'm having fun? Yes. Okay, I'm having fun. Good. I wonder if I said that just to please her or if I really meant it. I can't decide which it was. I don't hate this though. I can't honestly say that much. It's good enough for now. As the allotted time to finish his studies quickly ticks away, I just really try to improve my awful sketch, but it doesn't seem to get any better. I want to start again from scratch, but what would be the point? There's no time for that either. Okay okay everyone, that's it for today. Please turn your drawings on my desk, and I'll see you all on Monday. I glanced at my portrait, which doesn't exactly look like Rin. I guess you could say it portrays her, but that might be a little generous. The nose and jaw look hideous, and the shading is terrible. Granted, it's my first attempt at drawing with ink, but it's still pretty bad. That's not bad. She sneaked up behind me while I was lost in thought. Damn it, I was hoping I could smuggle the portrait to the teacher without you seeing it. Yes, we are in Act 2 right now. Why? I'm not really happy with it. I wish I could draw better. We just need some practice. Could you take my drawing to the teacher too? I mean, like, basically all, like, 90% of these written conversations have been philosophic discussions about nothing. Curse myself about how the sketch turned out. I peek at the picture. When the way Rin was drawing, it looked like she was really into it. It's excellent. Somehow, the seemingly arbitrary strokes come together to form an image of my face, from the shape of my chin to the messy hair to the somewhat gloomy expression. Her sketch blows my mind. Okay, I remember the thing about the Rin route is, like, there's a lot of choices, but like 90% of them don't actually matter. At least that's what I remember. I do not remember most of the choices actually mattering for Rin. Okay, our choices are: I wish I was as good as you, and you're amazing. Okay, it doesn't look like this choice actually makes any difference, so I will just go with, save just in case. Alright, do the first one, I guess. Well, I wish I was that good. I kind of embarrassed myself. Wouldn't you have to be me to be as good as me? I don't think you'd want to be me. No, I guess not. Maybe just some sort of approximation then. Yes, PSS, your constant reminder to save the game before choices is finally rubbed off on me. I look kind of grim here. You do look kind of grim. I mean, I agree, but it's also true otherwise too. Like, this you, not the you I made. I do? I think so, at least. Her simple statement suddenly makes me feel incredibly self-conscious. I feel like I need a mirror right now to confirm or debunk Rin. It's a nasty feeling. Maybe it's just her. I hope it's just her, and that I don't look like that sketch to everyone. It's a good sketch, and somehow I get a really oppressive feeling from it. I mean, if, like, you kind of had a heart attack and you could no longer return to your old life, I'd be pretty gloomy too. I see. Anyway, it looks really good. You're really amazing. Thanks. I'm glad I could draw for you. You're an interesting person. You're an interesting person too, but that doesn't help me much. My self-depreciation has no limits today, but Rin ignores it all. I knew that I could never compare, but to see the difference in my own eyes is quite humbling. I see. I tried to make you look like you did, since you did a lot of thinking. And yeah, I might have overdone the fed up with life expression, but cynics are that, right? I want to retort something snappy, but Nomia gives me no time to think, ushering us to the door. Hurry up, you two. While we've been chatting, the rest of the club has taken their leave. I quickly pick up our drawings and take them to the teacher's desk before hurrying after Rin, who has already left the classroom. She's not in the hallway, to my surprise. I wonder if she managed to run off to in just a few seconds. Would have been nice to talk more. Well, not that I have much to say, except maybe to get back to her calling me a cynic. Probably like an hour-long discussion about the choice of color of the hallways or something. Surprisingly late. I already got used to squinting at the same time every day, so I could feel the few extra hours in my head and gut. My growling stomach reminds me that I'm absolutely ravenous. I'm so hungry that I dare to try anything the cafeteria staff has deemed edible. At least you didn't draw you one of those commercials. I fall and I can't get up in a heart attack form. Well, but I'd hope it wouldn't be good at art, because that's kind of what half of this arc is based around. Even when I see today's delicacy, fried mystery lumps, my steely resolve doesn't fade. I stuff the dinner down without tasting it at all, which is probably for the best. I don't have much homework to do, but what little I have won't get done by itself, so I stroll down towards the dormitories. Preparing for the post-homework lull, I knock on Kenji's door. Oh boy. Oh boy, what have you done? He responds from the other side, though I can't make out what he said. I try the door, but it's locked. After several seconds, the lock clicks open and he opens the door. Hi, could I borrow a book? The library was already closed after I got away from my club meeting. He's squinting even more than usual and his eyebrows are twitching nervously. Club, that's dangerous, man. Indoctrination, groupthink, brainwashing, you name it. High school clubs sow the seeds of conspiracy. Do you know how many secret societies have grown from high school clubs? Once you're back and don't get too deep in, you might not come back. Okay, Kenji, so how about that book? Sure, but return them and don't spoil any of my books. No drinks, no food stains, no bodily fluids, capiche? Sure, thanks. So letting me in, he retreats from the door, closing it again. After a few seconds, he returns with a stack of 3 thick books and hands them over to me. Opening the topmost one, a familiar emblem stamped in the copyright page greets me. But I hate feminists. These books. These are from the school library. They are now mine. You stole these? What are you talking about, man? I've been liberating those from the oppressive feminist movement that controls the library. Please say oppressive feminist movement. Doesn't mean that poor librarian girl Yuko. She couldn't even oppress a wet towel. Don't jerk off in a kid. I cannot imagine using books to pleasure yourself is a good idea. Before going to my room, I enter the bathroom. While washing my hands, my eyes catch my reflection in the mirror above the sink. I try to look for the grimness Rin saw in me, but it's just the usual me inside the mirror that stares back. I tend to tell myself that this is what I've always looked like, but I realize I don't remember what I looked like half a year ago. I'll wake up all sweaty as if I had run half a marathon in my sleep. Odd. I don't recall sleeping badly. This is a pang of worry through me, though. I wouldn't want to have my heart acting up about being able to notice it. So apart from this odd exhaustion right after waking up, I'm feeling just fine. My mouth is like sandpaper and nothing to drink, so I have to go all the way to the bathroom to take my meds. On impulse, I decide to take a shower while I'm at it. That's actually a good question. How would Kenji read these books? Like, maybe shove them oh god, I didn't mean to touch my mic. Just put them right in front of his face, like a centimeter away from his eyes or something. I'm in the shower. I make up my mind that this counts as morning exercise. If I properly compensate of a nice half-hour walk after school. Obviously, I wouldn't want to risk possible complications by going running now, otherwise Emmy will. Besides, Emmy will never know, and I think she's giving up on me in any case. Walking is nice anyway, just to get to know the area. There's a big forest in the hills behind the school, or I could go down to the convenience store. While still dabbing the moisture off my skin, I set off to find my uniform. I quickly button up my shirt and pull out my pants before going outside. Normally during this time of year, I'd eagerly await summer vacation, having only been at school for a little over a week. I don't really have that kind of feeling. I'm just savoring the school life, considering the sharp and awkward turn my life has taken. I still hadn't had the time to become preoccupied with getting free of it. Besides, once vacations hit, it'll be a nice surprise for me if I'm not expecting it, especially with the end of term exams looming ahead. Because I don't have any catching up to do with my studies, my diligence has finally paid off. I push myself past the boys gathered in the dormitory and flop into my seat. You can't tell the difference between chapstick and AA batteries. Alright, I have some chaps on my desk and some, I have no idea how this looks like a battery, but, nope. Guess what happens when you are legally blind. From the corner of my eye, I can see Shizune and Misha pause their unavoidably animated conversation and turn almost simultaneously in my direction. They clearly want something from me. I can tell by the way Shizune smiles. It's too obnoxiously bright to be sincere, and too calculated to be spontaneous. Good morning. Her grinning is made of 100% cheer and bursting energy. Morning. I failed to put either of those into my response. You don't look very energetic. No wonder. I don't feel energetic either. I don't think I slept well, but I'm not sure. She slaps me in the back and grins. Cheer up a bit. It's a great day. I catch Shusune's eyes. She has a strange, focused expression on her face. When she furrows her brow a little at direct eye contact and looks away. For a moment, I think that Shizune caught a glimpse of my worries somehow and is pondering how to respond. But then she quickly straightens her glasses, and with them her expression. Wait, no, I figured out. He doesn't actually read the books. He just steals the books in order to liberate them from the oppressive library. Shizune does not speak any words. Anyways, we were wondering if you were still interested in that student council position. Because we're going to make an offer that you can't decline. Wait, what? I wasn't really interested in the first place. You're putting words in my mouth. Not as such, but wouldn't it be nice to hang out with us every day while also being useful to your school? Well, to tell you the truth, I kinda joined a club, so it'd actually be sort of hard for me to join this council, too. Even if I wanted to, which I don't, as I said. Is it so? What club is it, Hee-chan? The art club. Shizune's eyes glint in a sinister way as she scowls at me. With the way she looks, I'll be expecting the art club to lose its funding with our lunch break, or the art teacher to mysteriously disappear from the face of the earth. Feminist conspiracies. Before he manages to comment, the teacher finally enters the classroom, getting Shizune and Misha off my back and setting everyone rummaging in their bags for books and pens. I did join the art club, but the first meeting didn't really boost my confidence. I'm not really sure what I'm doing it for. Well, I wish I could draw like Rin, but I don't know what I would do if I could. To what end would I use such a skill? I don't really know. Knowing the teacher's sleep-inducing voice, I opened my notebook to an empty page and pressed a needle-sharp graphite tip of a pencil into it. What to draw? I can't really think of anything good to draw. As I hesitate and raise my hand, a meek black mark left in the previously blank paper seems aggravating. Can't yet seem to get the starting line, let alone get started. It's almost a physical feeling of being held back. Annoyingly, it reminds me of my failed attempt at jogging with Emmy. Look at the window in desperation. Right then, a small bird takes flight from one of the cherry trees that grows everywhere on school grounds. I can really see it clearly, and it's not like I could tell one tiny bird from another. You don't know anything better draw a penis. What could the default drawing for everything. I pick it as my subject anyway. Conjuring up the image of the bird in my mind's eye, I turn my gaze back to the notebook and deliberately draw a thick line across the paper to get started. Seems to be mocking me as I can't follow it up right away. Still, it's a start. Any started is good. I slowly sketch the picture onto the notebook page, the image of my brain becoming clearer as the drawing takes shape. It's really nothing, just that nameless nothing bird on paper, but it's not that important. My hesitation fades into the background along with the teacher's voice as I continue my struggle. The feathers form a simple pattern in my mind, but on paper it's a mass of too many rough lines despite my best efforts. I realize that I don't really know what a bird's wing should look like, even if I try to think about it. I even put the pencil down and closed my eye for a moment, trying to trace the shape of the wing in my mind. Being this serious about it all of a sudden makes me feel a little frustrated. Art class in middle school was the easy class between exhaustive subjects like math or Japanese, But there's this other side to art, the one that you see when you don't just fool around. It's almost like a completely different thing. Hee-chan? I look up to see the two girls staring back at me. Misha and Chuzune carry their chairs to my desk and are standing by my sides looking at my drawing. How long have you two been there? I think you need more practice. Chuzune draws a few sharp sides in the area between herself and Misha. Hee-chan agrees. Rin said the exact same thing yesterday, but why did it sound less condescending? You shouldn't judge before I'm finished. Besides, you don't know it's bad luck to see an unfinished work of art. Misha cracks in exuberant laughter. What? Don't be silly. There's no way that could be true. Whatever. Shuzune's eyebrows furrow dangerously, and the moments of her hands become abrupt, like the slashing of a knife. You should learn to take constructive criticism. Oh, what the hell was that? What the hell is this? Oh man, how do I even mute this? Whatever, I'll just ignore it for now, I guess. You should learn to take constructive criticism better. I would if you actually offer some. I know I'm getting defensive, and that she's taking advantage of it, but I can't help it. What are you two doing here anyway? Misha wags her finger admonishingly at my nose. Tisk tisk, Hee-chan. We're not listening to the teacher at all. We have a group assignment now. I nod obliquely and let them take the lead. So, what do you think of the lesson for today? Not much of anything. I didn't listen to a word of it. Misha slaps her forehead and shakes her head theatrically. What are we going to do with you, Hee-chan? Luckily, Shuzune and Misha together are more effective than 3 or 4 normal people, so I can mostly slack on the assignment. I do my best to offer at least some assistance, but I end up being mostly useless. The teacher keeps us in the class 5 minutes past the lunch bell, but eventually lets us off the hook. I quickly stuff my books onto my bag while Shuzune and Misha carry their chairs back to their own seats. The failure of a bird drawing ends up crumpled and stuffed in my pocket as I hurry outside. Well, I guess this is a decent place to end off for today. I guess we'll have to wait to find out how this super suspenseful nap time of this super suspenseful lunch break of Hisao ends up. Alright, thanks. Sorry this room is a bit shorter today, but I'm kind of busy right now, so thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow for another Katawa show.